Hello, everybody. It's me, Carmine DeStefano, the Bookman, and I'm here to review Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition. And that only took 5 fucking years. But listen, I didn't have access to it till I got the wonderful Switch 2, which apparently only came out with 2 games. But whatever the case, I finally finished the game. It was a very thorough process, it was a very extensive process. That is one of the reasons why I'm trying to lean against role playing games. I do enjoy the concept of role playing games. I do enjoy creating things or at least changing things up based on my decisions and whatever. But they take so much energy and time. Now, listen, considering there's nothing that's really been announced that seems earth shattering to me or something that could possibly get people to know I make videos and whatever instead of it just meandering in the dark void of YouTube's I don't pay for anything, so thus I should suffer the rest of my life aspect. I still don't really enjoy things after a while. Now, listen, these are some confessions here, okay? I always, when it comes to doing a critique or a review like I'm going to do now, I always separate my own issues with what's going on with what I've experienced and everything like that. So I'm going to lay it out for you. I get bored easily, and I typically try to like everything that I paid for. So it's this very weird, all right, let's get some buses and everything in here. There's this very strange dichotomy I have where I want to enjoy every aspect of everything that I paid money for, but I get bored easily. Now, saying that, I never got bored with this game. Cyberpunk 2077 was the reason I kept my PlayStation 4 until I just couldn't deal with Sony and their hardware issues and just the company as a whole and all these so-called AAA games I was trying to review and play through. It got way out of hand. They're junk. They're trying to be movies. You can think what you want about video games. There's a difference between a game like this that is very cinematic, but is still a game where I have decisions that I make that affect the outcome, and there's some good gameplay mechanic thing going on and whatever. And a game that more or less just wants to remake The Last of Us, where it's all real life looking, photorealism. It's trying to be artistic. It's trying to be deep. It's trying to tell a story, and the stories break down to either humanity's terrible or let your kids do what you want. So it's either Planet of the Apes or it's Finding Nemo. That's the only plot differentiation you have in any movies today in the United States outside the Marvel Cinematic Universe, more or less. Maybe M. Night Shyamalan, but he sucks at making movies. Or video games that try to be movies. Just give me a game that I can play. This game was, I put over 50 hours in. There was still a lot I didn't do. I could have continued after the decision that I made, and the decisions more or less, it's not, there are elements to this game that could seem like another CD Projekt Red project, which was The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 is still one of the great role playing games I've ever played. And one of the reasons is because you do play a role. Whether or not you're only Geralt, whether or not you can't change that or his look more or less other than a shave and a haircut, shave and a haircut. Damn it! Sorry, I just have to do that. But whether or not that's the only option you have with your character, what you do, get the fuck out of here. What you do resonates throughout the course of the entirety of the map itself in all 3 different areas and locations that you go through. This game doesn't really have that. This game is more an independent experience. It's a first-person shooter. Doesn't have to be, but it is. It's as it is built. It's built to be a first-person shooter. This whole thing is your V character and what you do for your V character yourself. So you can go around on a killing spree. You get that Grand Theft Auto police star rating system where what you did gets a certain star rating and the cops will just come after you every which way. But then, like Grand Theft Auto, you go find a nice little cozy spot to hide in for a while. They'll forget you even did anything wrong. And then on top of that, you have quests that actually help the police, and they'll still come after you if you do something stupid. You can make decisions that seem to be catastrophic in an area, and it doesn't really do anything to the area. However, the decisions you make do affect your street cred. Street cred is another form of leveling up a character in this game, where when you get your street credit high enough, as you gain street credit points like experience points, you'll see that other fixers or sort of like agents, they set up quests for you or jobs or gigs. You'll see that they'll start giving you more gigs, or you'll see that other fixers that are a little bit more prominent than ones that you dealt with previously, they'll start giving you gigs. Taking care of random assaults in process or just finding caches or whatever. There are so many different types of quests that don't simply result in, hey, let's shoot everything moving. But ultimately, the experience in each one does resonate for your character and your character's position. Now, as I said, I didn't beeline it to the end, but I certainly didn't do everything. I didn't even get any jobs from one of the fixers in the initial phase of the game. So there was a lot that I missed. I'm playing through it on the PG-13 version of OnlyFans, otherwise known as Twitch. I stream it every Tuesday night on my channel, twitch.tv/CDTheBookman. And I'm trying to do everything because I would like to see what happens. And already I'm seeing with a different background. You have 3 backgrounds you can choose from: corporate shill, nomad, or street rat. And I went with the corporate one for this one, and I went for the nomad in the other playthrough, and a man for this one and a woman for that one. And I could see already that one of the decisions I made really changed the outcome of a certain area. Like, for instance, if you choose to wrong a gang of any kind, if you're in an area that they sort of, and you'll see on the map where they really hang around and everything, when you get to one of their home bases or anything close to where they are, you'll notice that they keep attacking you. And it can be overwhelming because you'll be driving your car and they'll just come out of nowhere and start shooting the shit out of you, especially Militech. Watch out for Militech. Or is it? No, Maelstrom. Watch out for them. But then I also noticed that when I chose this game to go with Militech and help them out, they didn't bother me. And I never heard from Meredith Stout again. But even as a woman character in the other game, when I helped Meredith Stout instead of Militech, there was a side quest where we had sex. So it's really interesting how the game does change certain decisions that you make and how it reflects you as a person and everything and what goes on for yourself overall. The whole idea of this was, how do you want to go out? And ultimately, I didn't feel as though the end result was anything that seemed to reflect the work that I did. And what I mean by that is, you're going to be in a position where you're going to choose whether or not you want to keep doing this or you want to just bust out, go home, and I guess continue the game. But going out in a blaze of glory pretty much means that you're going to die quick back on Earth, and going out as a legend is that you're going to be kept preserved, almost like Xenoblade Chronicles X, as digital data and everything, as opposed to just being alive. I mean, it's there, it's something, it's a decision that you make, but the end does drag, as you can tell. However, the game itself, for the 50 plus hours that I played, was mostly enjoyable in terms of the gunplay is really slick. A lot of the upgrades that you get for the character, the cybernetics, really help out. You notice a huge difference with your level up tree and everything like that. Physically, technically, whatever, you can make yourself more of a beefhead like I did in this one. You can make yourself more of a techie, as I'm doing in the other one. There are options for your character. As I said, it is a very personal experience. So what you do just affects you personally. The end does drag. Now, the end and playthrough of the DLC, Phantom Liberty, that is really interesting. That one, there are decisions that can resonate and change the course of what you're living through or whatever. So I'm interested in seeing how what I do in the next playthrough alters that. However, there are really only 2 choices. Dialogue options go with, your background pretty much. and other things can kind of affect it. But this is a personal experience, and it's a good one. I would definitely suggest it, especially now that it's been re-released on the Switch 2, which, by the way, when docked, because I have to keep explaining this to everybody, the Switch 2 is not a handheld. Not specifically. You can play it docked. And when you play it docked, it looks really, really good and runs really, really smooth. There are still ticks and bugs in this game that they never fixed, but I don't expect that much from CD Projekt Red because they're not Nintendo, they're not Capcom, they're not any of the others that have been around for a long time. They're kind of an independent. They have a huge group of people that work on this, and this is the second iteration, more or less, after all the updates from the terrible launch years ago. But even so, you'll see people phase in and out of other people. You'll see some kind of real, I don't want to say janky because I can't stand that word, but real janky cuts where somebody will be here and then they'll be there. You'll see the game kind of trying to figure out exactly where somebody's supposed to be on the set, and then it will, it's not prominent, it's not extensive. It crashed once, but it wasn't really like running as bad as, say, I don't know, Civilization 7, which, by the way, on the Switch 2, I still don't have all the characters, and no, I'm not going to let that go. But ultimately, I would definitely play through it again. I am playing through it again, as I mentioned in my comments in the last video that I'm uploading on my gaming channel. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. There's nothing really I can say that's bad about it, but if you're not into the concept of putting that much effort into a game to get somewhere that doesn't really seem to be a good payoff ultimately, you're not going to enjoy this. If you're not a role-playing game type, you're not going to enjoy this. But if you are a first-person shooter, there is a lot of stuff here in the first-person shooting mechanics that you can build on, that you can change. There is some good content to that you would enjoy. So I would suggest it for a broad audience for the most part. So I thank you all for watching. I have more views to come. Stay tuned, take care, and have a great day.